Let's talk about something that I think everyone has wrestled with at some point. You look at the world and you wonder, if there's a good, all-powerful God, why does evil seem to be doing so well? It's a massive question. Well, today, we're going to tackle it by digging into a really powerful text, the 13th Flash, which offers a fascinating way to understand this whole problem.
Now, this phrase, you've probably heard it a million times. But what if I told you it's more than just a saying? According to the text we're looking at, this is actually the key. It's the starting point for understanding what evil is, why it's here, and how to defend ourselves against it. So yeah, let's dive right in.
And here it is, the central paradox. It's the big one, right? If good is supposed to have divine backing, why does it feel like evil is constantly racking up wins? The 13th Flash doesn't shy away from this. It confronts it head-on by completely reframing how we think about power itself.
So, first things first, we have to unpack the very nature of evil. The argument here is that what we see as strength is actually a kind of illusion. It's not rooted in real power, but in something else entirely.
Okay, this is fascinating. Think about it like this. Good is all about building things, creating, bringing things into existence. That's hard work, right? It's complex. Evil, on the other hand, is just about destroying things. It's about non-existence. And, well, tearing something down is always going to be easier than building it up.
And this analogy just hits the nail on the head. Imagine the coordination, the skill, the sheer effort it takes for 20 people to build something over 20 days. And then one person, with one simple act, can undo all of that in a single day. You see, evil's success doesn't come from being stronger. It comes from the simple fact that demolition is easier than creation.
The text gives us another great image to drive this home. Think about a huge ship, loaded with cargo, carrying the work and livelihood of hundreds of people. One person, through one small malicious act, can sink the entire thing. The result is massive, but the action itself was tiny. That's the key. Evil has this huge, disproportionate impact because destruction is just easy.
Okay, so if evil is just easy destruction, that brings up an even bigger question, doesn't it? Why would an all-powerful God even allow it to exist? Well, the text has a really compelling answer for why this whole struggle is even necessary.
I mean, it's the natural follow-up, right? If evil is so damaging, why not just get rid of it? But the source argues that if you did that, you'd actually be preventing humanity from reaching its true highest purpose.
So here's the idea. We're all created with this incredible spectrum of potential inside of us. You can be anything from a tiny, insignificant particle all the way up to a brilliant sun. But that potential is just dormant. It's asleep. To wake it up, to actually grow, you need a challenge. The struggle against evil is presented as the very thing that triggers our development. Without it, we'd just be static, kind of like angels, with no ability to improve or achieve our full spiritual and moral height.
But you might be thinking, what about all the people who fail, who give in to evil? The text uses this really striking seed analogy. Let's say you plant 100 seeds. If 99 of them rot in the ground, but just one becomes a magnificent fruit-bearing tree, the value of that one tree is so immense that it justifies the loss of the other seeds. In the same way, the existence of even a few perfected human beings, the fruitful trees, is seen as worth the whole struggle, even if many seeds are lost. It's about the incredible quality of the final outcome, not the quantity of failures along the way.
All right, so we've talked about the what and the why of evil. Now let's get tactical. The source text actually lays out a kind of playbook, a set of psychological tricks that evil uses to get inside our heads. And you know what they say? Knowing the enemy's strategy is the first step to beating them.
Okay, this first one is super subtle, but so powerful. You know when an ugly, doubtful thought just flashes through your mind? Satan's trick is to whisper in your ear, "See, you thought it. That means you believe it. Your faith is gone." But the text says, hold on a second. Just imagining something isn't the same as affirming it's true. Getting those two confused is a trap, and it's designed to make you despair.
This tactic plays directly on our ego. When we mess up, our first instinct, prompted by evil, is to defend ourselves. We become our own lawyer, making excuses, blaming other people, anything but admitting we were wrong. But by refusing to even see our own faults, we block the only path to getting forgiveness, which means we block the path to growth.
Oh, this one corrupts our relationships. We all know people who are amazing in 100 ways, but they have that one thing that drives you crazy.
Evil's trick is to take that one flaw and blow it up so big that it's all you can see. It makes you forget all the good, and it breaks friendships and families over things that are, in the grand scheme of things, pretty minor.
And this might be the most cunning trick of them all. The source says one of the greatest wiles of evil is to convince the people who are following its path that it doesn't even exist. I mean, think about it. If you don't believe your enemy is real, how can you ever fight back? It gets to operate in the shadows, completely unchecked, which makes it way more effective.
So, now that we know the nature of the threat and the enemy's playbook, what's the game plan? How do we defend ourselves? Well, the text gives us a really clear and powerful blueprint for a spiritual defense system.
The ultimate protection, according to our source, is found inside the divine law and the example of the prophet. And this isn't just a list of rules. It's described as an impregnable stronghold, a fortified citadel. It's a whole way of life that, when you enter it, creates a safe zone where these attacks just can't get you.
And inside that stronghold, the believer gets equipped with a whole arsenal. I love the metaphors the text uses here. Your armor, it's the fear of God, that conscious awareness of Him, and it's built right from the Quran. Your shield, that's the example of the prophet in your day-to-day life. And your weapon, it's actively seeking God's protection and forgiveness, which brings us right back to that phrase we started with.
The source really brings its whole defensive strategy home with this one final declaration. The Quran isn't just a book you read, it's a fortress you enter. By actually living your life according to its principles, you find the ultimate security.
This last quote just paints this absolutely breathtaking picture of how significant we are. It suggests that our choices, for good or for evil, literally echo throughout the entire universe. The cosmos is actually relieved when a source of corruption is gone, but it mourns, it weeps when someone who lived in harmony with the Creator has to leave.
So after all that, after exploring evil's nature, its purpose, and the defense against it, we're left with this. It's a pretty profound thought, isn't it? That our individual lives have a cosmic echo. The ultimate question, then, isn't just about understanding evil. It's about how we choose to live our lives in response to it. What kind of story will the universe tell about us?